duck under omoplata escape drill. So let's start off with the omoplata from the closed guard. Now, if Chaz is in my closed guard, the omoplata starts off with me being able to control one arm. Now, typically, the omoplata starts off whenever your opponent, your training partner, has his hands down on the mat. With Chaz, what we're going to do is I'm going to control his arm by bringing my arm over his arm and then underneath my leg. I'm going to bring my arm over his arm and then underneath my leg. My other arm is just going to go here to trap his neck, and I'm going to link my hands together. I do this with my hands, and I go like this. I call this an S grip, just like this. You see how my arm goes over top of his arm, underneath my leg, and then this arm is controlling his neck. I just link my hands together. Here, from here, you see it's really difficult for Chaz to pull out his hand. Can you pull your hand, Chaz, please? Here, really difficult for him to do that. From here, I'm going to bring my elbow to the close side of his neck. See how I was once controlling here? Now I'm just going to open up my elbow and I put it to this side. Now I want to bring my head as far away from Chaz's head as possible. Now Chaz, he's smart. He's going to do everything he can to keep his head on the inside. As soon as he sees the fact that I'm controlling his arm, we see how my forearm is going to keep him away. My foot here is going to be on his hip, and I'm going to push away as well. I'm going to squeeze my knees together, and I'm also going to push with my legs. You see, I'm going to push with this leg, I'm going to push with this knee, so I can get my head as far away from his head as possible. Now when I'm in this position, I'm going to always squeeze my knees together. I'm going to try and stay on my side. Once I'm here, my hands are irrelevant, I can open them up, and then you see how my foot easily goes in front of his face. If we're here, can you come on back in, please, Chaz? Even if I'm controlling Chaz just like this, and I'm able to bring my elbow to the ear that I can see, unless I'm super flexible, here it's really tough for me to get my foot in front of his face. That's the clear indicator that I am going for an omoplata. Once I have my foot in front of Chaz's face, it's really difficult for him to go and defend. So you see how I'm controlling here, and I'm trying to get my head as far away as possible. You're squeezing my knees, pushing away with my forearms. Here, just like this, using my abs, and then it's easy for me to bring my foot in front. Flexibility is no longer an issue. Once I have my foot in front of the face, I'm going to do three things at the exact same time. I'm going to bring my elbow to the mat. Here, I'm going to bring my arm over his belt, and then I'm going to extract his leg. Do you see how I do all three things at the exact same time? Here. Now, you see how both legs are out straight. From here, I'm going to go and I'm going to bring both feet away. Once I'm able to bring both feet away, I'm able to tap Chaz out. So here, bring both feet away. Just like this. Do you see how far away my feet are? I don't keep my feet together just like this. See how relatively close my feet are? But it's like I'm doing a stretch, just like this here. From here, keeping my arm draped over top of his belt. So that way he doesn't do a cartwheel escape. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lean forward. My hand is out here just to check my balance. And I'm going to try and pick my hip up. And I get this shoulder lock. So that's the omoplata. Now, Chaz actually has an escape. Chaz has an escape. Let's actually work the escape where Chaz is doing the omoplata to me. So let's work from the guard here. So here he's controlling my arm like this. Good work. Go ahead, pal. Pushes my neck away. See, he's controlling. Here, Puts is able to get his foot in front, and then he pushes with his hand, all three things at once, and he brings his feet away. From here, I'm pretty much screwed. But there's a few defenses that I can do. The first defense that I can try to do is what I call a duck under escape. You see how I have my leg out straight. The leg that's closest to Chaz is out straight. From here, I'm going to put my hand on my belly button. Let's turn for the camera, Chaz. You see how I put my hand on my belly button. Now Chaz can still tap me out, but I'm going to do my very best to keep my hand on my belly button just to buy me some time. I can put my hand here on my belly button. I can go and cup the inside of my thigh, or I can grab onto my belt if I'm wearing a kimono, or I can grab onto my pants. It's irrelevant, but I want to try and keep my hand safe. Let's go back down here, Chaz. Here. From here, Chaz is in this great position. Do you see how my hand is out front? I'm going to pick Chaz out. I want my leg out straight, so when I pick Chaz up, he's not going to land on my leg. Now, I call this duck under escape because now I'm going to bring my head underneath the far knee. Look at this. I bring my head up, but then it goes back down, underneath, here, and then I'm able to pass his guard and then get top cross side. Controlling his knee, I'm doing what I call the accordion. Here you see how my hips are swished, just like this. And then I'm able to go and take top mount. So let's do the omoplata escape from this angle here, Chaz. So he's got the omoplata, he's got it pretty well. Do you see how I'm on my knees? I don't want to be completely flat and I'm really screwed, okay? So I need to have both my knees up underneath my chest. The leg that's closest to Chaz is up straight. You see how I'm controlling? Here, my hand here against my belly button. So let's come back down here, Chaz. So when I'm here, do you see how my hand is relatively close to my face? That way I can push up just like this so I can bring Chaz back down. Here. Now my head here is going to go underneath his far knee. So I bring my head up for one, underneath for two, and I come all the way around a claw, just like this. And you see how now I'm in cross side, do the accordion, switch my hip, and then I go over top. In order to work this as a drill, do you see how Chaz is in mount? So I'm controlling him with my arm. He's going to control my shoulder with both of his hands. He's going to do a buck and roll escape box and rolls me over, run away to see how I go over his arm, underneath my leg, and I can control. So let's do that again from mount. Nice, pal. Let's do it. Here, facing the camera, please, Chaz. Now, from here, do you see how I'm controlling his neck with this hand? This hand is going to do everything once he bucks me over, all right? So if we're here, do you see how he bucks me over? See how this arm goes over his arm, underneath my leg. Over his arm, underneath my leg to control here for the guard. Let's go into the center of that, pal. Let's do that one more time. Let's come down a little bit more here. That's it. Beautiful. We're mount, controlling with my arm here. See, bucks me up and then over his arm, underneath my leg. Clap my hands together. So I can put my foot here on the hip. You see how bringing him over, I can bring my elbow in front of his ear, just like this, to push him away, just like this. You see how now I'm on my side. Then I can bring my foot over his face, like so. I do three things all at the exact same time, where I'm sitting up here and extracting my leg, bringing my arm over. See how Chaz is able to go and bring the leg that's closest to him away from me. He's going to grab on to his kimono with his hand, or maybe to his pants, or put his hand right on his belly button, all of which are good. Whatever you can get. From here, I'm going to bring my feet away, just like this. But see how Chaz has got his hand directly in front of his face? He bench presses himself up, pushes him up, and then he goes through the other leg here, takes top cross side. Here. From here, I kick away, but he just takes mount just like this. Here, I'm going to do a buck and roll escape buck, and then I roll like this. See how Chaz goes over my arm, underneath his leg, just like this. He's going to push me away. He's got his elbow against my ear, comes around here, and then puts his foot in front of my face. Here, sits up directly. Here, keeping my hand safe, so I straighten out this leg. He brings his feet away. You see how I keep my hand directly in front of my face, just like this. And then you see how I push against the floor, picking Chaz up. My head goes underneath his leg. Look at this arm. It goes over his arm, underneath his neck. Over his arm, underneath his neck. So I get this great control directly. Here, I'm going to go and take mount. Here, Chaz does the buck and roll escape. So he bucks me over. Good. Over his arm, underneath my leg, control, putting my foot in the hip, bridging him away. Here, my elbow against his ear, so I push here just like this, creating lots of space. Come back in here, pal. Good work. And as soon as I'm able to go and put my foot in front of his face, I will. I sit up, I do all three things at the exact same time. Elbow into the mat, reaching over top, extracting my foot. Here, just rocking a little bit, pal. I'm going to bring my knees away, but you see how he's able to keep his hand safe. He bridges up with, he pushes up with his hand, picks me up underneath my leg for the duck under escape. So this is the omoplata duck under escape drill, and it's a fantastic drill to be dynamic and allows us to work a really cool escape for the omoplata.